Howdy legends, it's everyone's favorite professional Apex Legends caster and analyst, Zephyr here, back for another video. Now we've already published our initial lower elo tier list, but this tier list is aimed at more experienced players. Now that doesn't mean that every single legend is in a different tier, but some legends, like say Caustic, are harder to play for newer players, and that means for upper plat, diamond, and masters players, there are some key differences in how you view legends. Plus, we should give some credit to Respawn. Almost all legends are viable right now, and the legend balance is very good in Season 16. The difference between tiers is as small as ever, and you could argue that almost all legends could be in a different tier. And this is a good thing for the game. As always though, we have our question of the day. How would you rate the new Nemesis rifle out of 10? Do you think it needs some changes before the new season? D-tier legends just aren't it. Respawn has made an effort to improve these legends in recent seasons. 2 of the 3 legends got buffs this patch, and the 3rd is rumored to get a rework in the near future. Just like in the lower ranks, Lifeline is just too negative. Her best abilities revolve around being hurt, knocked, or totally dead. The care package is her most positive ability, but it is outclassed by Loba, and honestly by just moving around the map and looting. Mirage got a slight buff this patch, but he is still lacking in aggressive power. The really good Mirage players are just genuinely very good players. You need to have fantastic mechanical abilities to make Mirage work. Some of the better Mirage plays are actually in the lower tiers. More experienced players don't get so stressed by the decoys, and the impact just isn't the same. We said it in the lower tier list, and we will say it again. Revenant sucks. That's why a big rework is on the horizon for this legend. One of the biggest issues with this kit is just how enjoyable it is for the game to have a powerful Revenant. Let's hope Respawn find a sweet spot for Rev soon. C-tier legends are just alright. The difference between C and B tier was harder than ever this season, but these legends are generally just a bit weaker or less flexible than other options available with similar abilities. Ashe could really do with some changes. Now that Wraith has a very long portal, the distance her phase breach goes just feels underwhelming, and because it can only go in a straight line, it's inflexible. Plus, at this level of gameplay, people hit their shots, so the delay between her portal line appearing and you emerging out of it can be pretty costly. Plus, her tether is just so slow. Fuse got a buff because of the new assault class. Holding more ammo could leave you with space for extra grenades. However, Fuse just isn't flexible enough across all the maps to be a super high tier. It's not like grenades are exclusive to Fuse, and his ultimate, despite the wall hacks, isn't really that great. World's Edge with all the buildings is probably Fuse's best map. Horizon might have a shot for B tier, but we actually have her in C tier for now. A surprise hidden bug fix in the patch notes means her ultimate no longer sucks through walls. Now, while this is a good change, this combined with the changes to her gravity lift really change Horizon and her ability to impact the game. C tier does not mean she is useless, but her ult is a lot weaker and you cannot lift up and clip people from the height, which was a major benefit of playing her before. We had a lot of people argue in our last tier list that Newcastle should be higher. The issue is he is countered by so many legends. Where he excels is in open spaces, using his castle wall to set up. His revive is strong, but in so many Apex engagements, the high aggression can mean that you can't always get it off. Certainly, he is a major beneficiary of a gold knockdown shield. However, Maggie, Horizon, Fuse, Bangalore, Gibby, Caustic, or anyone with grenades are all huge counters to Newcastle. That's why Newcastle is often paired with Watson in ALGS. Her pylon helps counter some of the weaknesses of his kit. Plus, in most of our Apex games, how many times do we have enough teams alive that his kit can really shine? If teams can flank the Newcastle setup without other teams pressuring them, that is a major weakness. We aren't saying he can't have his moments, but that there are better choices. Rampart suffers from some of these similar issues to Newcastle at this level. Her walls can be bypassed, and she lacks the real offensive power besides her Sheila. Higher elo players take a lot more grenades and play a lot more aggressive in general, which weakens her kit. The Sheila can be literally insane, but only in some very specific situations, which makes her C tier. Vantage is another situational legend. For higher mechanical players, she is more useful because of her ultimate being better if you can hit shots. But that doesn't deny the fact that you could just take a sniper and play a legend with a lower skill ceiling and a more valuable ultimate. Her echo relocation is as literally as loud as those new jets that fly around the map, and this is very easy to shoot her out of the air from. Watson is a weird legend to rank. She lacks true offensive power, but at the very highest level of ALGS, she is incredible. Her best map is World's Edge by far, but when we think of why ALGS teams use Watson, it becomes hard to justify her at a higher tier for the general game with the current kill-heavy ranked system. Watson teams in ALGS set up early, they claim buildings or big spaces with their fences, and then steadily farm Evo shields by poking nearby teams and healing from her pylon. That sort of gameplay just doesn't exist outside of competitive Apex at the moment, which leaves Watson lacking. Let's be real, how many Apex Predator players are grinding RP as Watson? She just doesn't suit the current ranked system. B-tier legends are pretty solid picks. Bloodhound took a pretty hefty nerf this season as part of a wider effort to reduce the amount of power scan legends have in the game. The loss of the spam scans and Bloodhound's ult is the biggest loss of power. However, at the higher level of gameplay, Bloodhound can still be pretty useful, just less oppressive. Easy information will always have value when players are aggressive and competent enough to capitalize on it. Catalyst, once mastered, can be reasonably powerful. Her traps are fairly weak, they don't really offer much and usually get disregarded by everyone. However, her passive and ultimate are a big deal. Lots of Apex fights take place around doorways, so being able to replace or reinforce them is huge. Plus, the Catalyst doorways can be removed instantly by Catalyst, so you can burst out into an enemy team and catch them by surprise. Then, her ultimate is so flexible. Aggressively or defensively, the wall is really powerful for helping you maneuver around or reset. Crypto is a big beneficiary of the new Recon class. His drone being able to deliver a crypto map room-like scan across the map is very strong. However, it seems you can only use each beacon once. This means that he's not quite as busted as it seemed he could be. The EMP is a very underutilized ability, and it can be both offensively and defensively used, especially if you pair Crypto with a Wraith or Octane. EMP from far back, then Pad or Portal in. Crypto can be a harder legend to play if you are solo queue, as the drone information is much better verbalized rather than ping. We had Loba in the A tier in our lower elo tier list, mainly because she makes looting so easy, and she's now the best legend for respawning teammates in the game by far. However, at the higher level, players aren't as reliant on specific weapons, and other players are a lot more aggressive. Even Loba cannot counter the fact that players beeline dropships mid-game, so that takes her down a notch, but still makes her a good pick. Octane has a fun kit, and he is easy to access for newer players. However, the jump pad is risky when players are mechanically sound enough to track you throughout the air. That is essentially the main reason why he's been downgraded from A to B in this higher elo tier list. These A tier legends are really strong picks, are generally very flexible across multiple maps, and have both aggressive and defensive power. What ranks Caustic above the other controller legends is the damage he can deliver. At this level, players are much more familiar with better positioning and will be competent with tap strafe, which can help you move around with such a big hitbox. Caustic ultimate can be devastating when used right, as can his gas traps. As well as being strong offensively, he can also be really helpful in repelling third parties. Much more so than Watson and Catalyst, his traps far exceed the fences or ferrofluid. Sure, Caustic is especially powerful on World's Edge, but he is just about powerful enough across all maps to sit in A tier overall. Is Gibby back? The main reason Gibraltar players are happy this season is because of the shotgun buff. When shotguns are strong, so is Gibby. It's a bit more awkward because there are some fairly noticeable counters to Gibby which can cause some issues, notably Maggie, but also Seer and Crypto. He suits the rank system because he has a kit that allows you to reset or decimate enemies being aggressive. Just pick up a Peacekeeper and get in the bubble. Just like Gibby, when shotguns are strong, so is Maggie. Her ball is pretty insane. It has aggressive and rotational value, but crucially, her kit has some pretty insane cooldowns. The drill has an effective 6-second cooldown, being the last drill expiring and the next drill being ready. The ball has a very low cooldown too. Maggie is a very aggressive legend, which really suits the current super aggressive rank system. Pathy might be back. His zipline is genuinely useful now, and the extra speed is really helpful. The passive regeneration of his zipline feels a bit weird, but hey, it means you can have his zipline a lot. As always, once mastered, his grapple is a great way to either close in and finish a kill or get away from danger. Even for the most gifted of players, tracking Pathfinder mid-grapple is no easy task. Seer took some pretty big nerfs this season, but he still has two excellent abilities. His ultimate might have a longer cooldown and last for less time, but the information it gives is so powerful, it can never really be a weak ability unless Respawn nerf it into the ground. His tactical scan got a small nerf, but crucially, the cancel aspect of that is what makes it so strong. Deal big damage, cancel heals or revive with Seer, and then storm in and finish the enemy squad. Not as powerful as before, but still a very valuable legend. Just like we said in the low elo tier list, Wraith's buff was a long time coming. As maps got bigger, her portal just felt weak. This change will make her a lot more viable, and she has always been one of the more fun legends to play aggressively. Where she holds a lot of value now is in resetting or third partying. Being aggressive while being able to stay alive is the key to surviving the current rank system. Wraith fits the bill perfectly in that regard. Plus, sick new heirloom animations. These two legends offer so much. They have great kits and are really well-rounded. Bangalore is insane. Don't think of digital threat scopes as a counter to Bang, think of them as an enabler. Smoke up onto your enemies and beam them through the smoke using the Digi. Her ultimate is great for denying third parties as well. Less powerful scan legends is also a direct buff to Bangalore. On top of all that, Bangalore is also a big beneficiary of the new Assault class, further cementing her power in the game. Extra ammo per slot can mean more grenades, heals, or ultimate accelerants, and this becomes truly the Bangalore meta. Valk has been S tier for some time, no matter the elo you play in. She has it all. She can move, escape, and aggress. Her jetpacks are so powerful, allowing her to take height or quickly escape situations. She's fun to play, and when you're desperate to find fights in ranked, cruising around the map with free scans is a great way to locate your next KP. We all know why Valk is good. Until she changes, that won't change. That concludes our Season 16 Apex higher elo tier list. If you survived all the way through, let us know in the comments. Of course, these are just opinions, so let us know who you're going to be maining this season too. Until next time, legends.